Good morning, dear student. Today we are going to discuss one of the diseases which is related to the heart. Okay. It is an disease which is also called as ischemic heart disease. It is the disease under the cardiovascular disease category. Now let's see what is that disease. So I'm going to share my screen. So today we are going to discuss about anti-angina drug. These are the drug which is acting on angina pectoris. Angina pectoris is the disease which is related to the heart. Now let's see what is that disease is. We are knowing that this disease is under the category of cardiovascular disease. That means the disease which is occurring due to change in cardiac and vascular function. This is the disease which is also called as ischemic heart disease. Ischemic means less oxygen. So if there is less oxygen supply to the heart, that disease is occurring and hence is called as ischemic heart disease. Okay? And the pain is originated in the heart due to less oxygen supply to the heart. Okay. Now let's see what is the definition of this angina pectoris, which is in short form also known as angina. It is one of the principal symptoms of ischemic heart disease, which is characterized by very severe contracted pain, which is in the chest. Often it is irradiated from the pericardium to the left shoulder and down to the arm. Okay. Now let's see the difference between ischemic heart and normal heart. Okay. In case of normal heart, okay, we are having a normal coronary, a normal artery wall, which is going to supply and blood to the heart. Okay, along with blood, it is going to supply nutrients and oxygen, which is requiring for normal function of heart. But in ischemic heart, what happened? In ischemic heart, there is an deposition of this plaque. Okay, plaque is nothing but a deposition of cholesterol in coronary artery, which is getting harder there and causing a difficulty for the supply of blood. Okay, and hence less and less blood supplies to the heart through this coronary wall, due to which the pumping function of heart is get disturbed, as it is having less oxygen as an energy source required to pump the heart. Now let's see what is pathogenesis. Before going for pathogenesis, we'll see what is normal heart. Normal heart means normal coronary circulation. Normal coronary circulation means if we are doing exercise, if we are having anger, if we are having any emotions like anger, depressions, we need more oxygens that supply to the heart so that heart can pump the blood properly. Okay, like we are doing exercise, our heart beats are increased, and due to that increase in heartbeats, heart needs to work faster, and for that faster, the heart is also require oxygen to supply the energy. And normal heart is having ability to fulfill that demand, that it is going to supply more and more blood to the heart so that heart can pump faster and faster. Okay, so depending upon the metabolism, depending upon the exercise what we are doing, there will be increased oxygen demand to the heart, which is fulfilled by this normal coronary circulations by vasodilation. But in ischemic heart, what happened? This coronary atherosclerosis is there. Okay, in last slide we have seen what is coronary atherosclerosis. There is a deposition of cholesterol in coronary wall, due to which the gap which is between the coronary wall is going to shrink, and due to which we are going to have less supply of and blood to the heart. and hence we are going to have insufficient blood supply to the heart, which is called as myocardial ischemia, due to which we are going to have less oxygen supply to the heart. We are knowing that the oxygen is required to produce ATPs, and ATPs is the energy source, and hence heart is going to have less oxygen, that means less energy, unable to pump properly, and all these are going to result into angina pectoris. Angina pectoris is the pain which is occurring in the heart due to less oxygen supply, due to less energy. It is not able to pump properly, and due to which we are going to have the pain which is associated from heart. It is reaching to the shoulder, and from shoulder it is going to down to the arm. Okay. Now let's see the types of angina pectoris. There are three different types of angina pectoris. The first one is stable angina. As the name suggests, we can able to predict the attack of angina. It is also called as classical angina. We can able to predict it. We can say that where it is going to occur when we are doing exercise, when we are having different emotions, or when we are eating faster and faster. There we will have the attack of angina. Okay, what is mean by attack of angina? We are going to have the pain irradiating from and heart going down to the shoulder. Okay. This pain which is associated with this stable angina can be relieved, can be decreased by taking the rest. That means when we are doing exercise, we need to take a rest so that the pain is slowly going to decrease, or we are going to reduce the myocardial work. That means the excessive work which is given to the heart is we are going to reduce that excessive work so that we'll have the relief from this stable angina pectoris. The next type is variant or prismatal angina. Now, what is variant or prismatal angina? Okay, this is variant in nature. That means it can occur when we are taking a rest or even when we are sleeping. There also the attack can precipitate. Okay, it is unpredictable one. It is occur due to recurrent localized coronary spasm. That means in coronary there will be some vasospasm. Vasospasm is contraction, sudden contraction of vessels. And due to sudden contraction of vessels, the oxygen supply to the heart is going to reduce, or sometimes it is stop for few seconds. And due to which the less oxygen is going to supply to the heart. And hence we are going to have the pain that is also in rest stage also due to sudden decrease in oxygen supply to the heart. The drugs which are used in treatment of this variant or prismatal angina is it is focused to reduce or prevent the coronary vasospasm that is associated with this type of angina. The next one is unstable angina. Now, what is unstable angina? It is a combination of stable and variant angina. That means the attack can occur during the exercise. Even it can attack, even we can have the attack at the rest also. Okay. It is having a rapid increase in duration and severity of attack. Okay. Between these three types, unstable angina is having very severe pain, which is associated with this angina. And occasionally, sometimes it is also associated with the coronary vasospasm. Now let's see the treatment. As we are going to know that this disease this disease is occurring due to less oxygen supply to the heart. So two things we can do. We can increase the blood supply to the heart so that more and more oxygen is supplied to the heart. So vasodilators are doing that work. The next treatment we can have is to reduce the heart workload so that we're going to have reduced oxygen demand from heart. Okay. So let's see what are the drugs which are used in the treatment of angina. The first one, as I've just discussing, is nitrates and nitrites. This nitrates and nitrites are nothing but a vasodilators. They are going to dilate the coronary vessels, which is supplying blood to the heart. The drug which is used under this category is amyl nitrate. The next category of drug is beta adrenergic blocking agent. Beta adrenergic receptors are present in the heart, which is associated with this pumping of heart. They are going to have contraction, relaxation movements of and cardiac vessels. And hence, if we are stopping this beta adrenergic receptors, they will going to reduce the blood pressures which is associated with this pumping and going to reduce the workload of heart. Propranolol is one of the drugs under this category. The next category of drug which is used in angina is calcium channel blockers. Okay, verapamil and diltiazem are the drug under this category. What this exactly calcium channel blockers are doing? The calcium, as we are knowing, it is one of the ion which is essential for contraction and relaxations of muscles. Okay, when this calcium is going to combine with myosin, the contraction of muscles occurs, and cardiac cells are nothing but a muscles. They are contracting and relaxing for pumping the blood. So this calcium channels, what they are doing, they are decreasing the workload of heart by decreasing the cardiac output. Okay, the cardiac output which is there, it is going to decrease, and due to which the workload which is associated with the cardiac, that is with the heart, is going to reduce, and we are going to have the relief from the pain which is associated with the angina. The last one are miscellaneous drug. That means they are drugs which are used to reduce the pain, like analgesic. Aspirin is one of the analgesics which is, and having an analgesic ability means they are the agents which is going to reduce the pain which is associated with the angina. So these are the different types of drug which we can use in the treatment of angina. So with this, we end this topic. Thank you for patient listening. Thank you. Thank you very much.